Hi guys, I'm Paul Richardson.
And I'm Alosha Lenov.
And we just want to talk to you about our upcoming tour of the United States. Sounds dramatic, but we want to bring some of our knowledge that we've been gathering together and individually and bring it to the US to share some new information about self-reliance, natural building and
Practical way to reach freedom. When we say practical, we really mean it.
yeah, giving you the tools and the techniques and the knowledge that you can take control of your own life again. We want to come to the US because we spent some years now traveling, teaching, learning, studying, researching all of this, and now we feel we've gained and gathered enough information that we have a cohesive and comprehensive solution to some of the problems that are now facing us.
Yeah, from my side, I've also traveled the world over 10 years and learned from the likes of Jeff Lawton, Mike Reynolds, John Todd, as well as Ibrahim Karim and many others. We want to bring all of that together to create these training centers, and Paul will tell you a little bit more about that, that we really feel and see as the only solution to starting up alternative, self-reliant and economically abundant communities.
Yeah, this is the key. I think there's many communities have started up in different parts of the world, and we've seen that the level of success is really dependent on some factors that we're bringing into our solution.
Yeah, most of the communities that I have visited and we visited with Paul together, we saw a lot of poverty, and at the age of 18 kids are leaving to the cities and not coming back, and then the parents kind of follow through to go and see their kids through university, and the communities fall apart, and a lot of lack and scarcity that we are seeing in the current communities, or the very gun-ho and a certain ism, and obviously cutting out the general public that do want to join the community. So yeah, we want to bring some of the research and knowledge that are going to start up communities that are going to be resilient and in tune with natural law, as well as in harmony with nature, our creator, and each other.
Yeah, and I've been working as an architect for close to 20 years in the US for several years and different places, and designing, project managing large-scale projects, and now we're fitting this together, our knowledge, to bring some really useful solutions, some practical solutions, some systematic ways of approaching the development of these type of communities is hugely important, because our role is to set the communities up and put them on a good footing, so when they go forward, success is in their future. Right now there's no setup, there's no formula, there's just people showing up in the countryside, taking some land and then hoping for the best.
Yeah, well, right now with the general model, especially in the 600 communities in Russia, which is leading the way with food growing and self-sustainability, as well as food forest gardening, and the general way that they go about, so you come and see the land and live a little bit, and if you like the community and the people, you invest into the land, and then you build a house, and ... Maybe you'll have enough money to start a little business. Maybe you'll have enough money to even finish your house. And these maybes are taking away 95% of the people who want to join communities, because the main question is, where am I going to live? What am I going to do so I can put food on the table? Where are my kids going to learn? So unless we're answering those three questions, as well as of course the spiritual aspect is quite important, then we can really have a holistic, thriving communities of the future.
Yeah.
Based on our research.
That's on the broader scale, but we're very much also about the details, and Alosha will show you some things getting a property ready to be self-reliant. So Losha's been working at this for years now to perfect, to make this self-reliant, and then we're bringing this together with the architectural side and the design side, with the Losha's design knowledge, with our design knowledge at Haven Earth, to create a kind of a professional yet organic, natural approach to doing this.
The key part here is that we can get our natural building and communities to be passed by the code, and that's where Paul is great, because he's bringing that architectural professional drawings to the table where, you know, when the county is looking at professional drawing,
just examples of successful projects like this. It's not easy to get these things passed in code, so we're also looking at ways and talking to people in the US as to how we collaborate to start getting a lot of these laws passed and open the way so these type of communities can be developed. So we'll be sharing that information with you, what we found out about that process too, because it's key. Obviously, a lot of people want to build communities, but they get stuck along the way, and this is what we want to do. We want to be the oil that greases that process and allows people to see that there is actually something that's in place that's going to make them successful. They've still got to put in a lot of hard work, and they've still got to, prepare themselves for living in a community. Actually, this is not the lone wolf anymore. This is coming together, creating solutions together that can bring us all abundance, because alone we're going to struggle through the coming changes.
And I've got a story with that. I mean, myself leaving to the farm in 2010, and yes, let's do it. Read the Anastasia books by Ringing Cedars, all inspired, gung-ho. Left the city, left my business in Johannesburg, and went to the farm. And the next thing, we had a knife and a hammer to my son and my wife, and then followed by full bankruptcy. And that was that. Unfortunately, and in reality, one family cannot grow, market, and sell their produce all at the same time. You really need to come together, because there's some folk that have stronger marketing skills, stronger communication skills. Some folk have green fingers. Some are
and buying tools and things get expensive. But if you share these prices, so yeah, there's a lot of parts to this. We'll share in more detail, obviously, when we come do the talk, because now we can't obviously give you all the little details. But
what we really want you to do is scroll below on this landing page and fill in your name and email, and whether you can host a talk or whether you can attend a talk, and of course the area that you're based, the state and the city, so we know where groups of people are catered, so we can
organically create a program for our tour, so it gets to the people that's most interested in this information, actually, and most ready to implement it.
Yeah, we're definitely going to do Oregon, California, and Taos. That's on the cards, but possibly there's some other areas in US which have a lot of interest for our work, and we are very open for that, especially if we can get a few gigs confirmed. Then we'll definitely be looking at coming to those areas first.
Yeah. So check out the page, which has more information about what we'll be discussing, what the talk will be about, and what you can take away from that. Because we have some key points that make the way we're coming at this approach different than other people have done in the past. It's not only about creating community, but it's also about empowering you as an individual. Maybe you're not in a position to move to a community, but you have some land, or you have a property you want to get off the grid, or you want to become more self-reliant.
Or you might have an investment that you want to put into something that you know is going to create a punch for our planet, for our people, and for sustainability as a whole.
Yeah, exactly. That's key. There's abundance in all of this, but the key factor is that we come back into a right relationship with nature. And unless we can do that, we can't solve these problems. So
we're actually mimicking nature's genius. I've studied biomimicry, as well as many other natural building, water and electromagnetic protection knowledge, but the main thing through all of this, what we're weaving together and what actually brought us together, is the natural building, because building debt-free homes that have their own water is key.
Yeah.
That coupled, and then your grey water now irrigates your food garden. Now we're tackling food, shelter, water. That's that's Maslow's hierarchy of needs. That's you can't go anywhere unless we have food, shelter, water sorted. And the problem with current way of living is that people are running around for 25 years paying these giant monstrosities off that don't even belong to you. They still belong to the bank and the state, because that's why you're paying rates and taxes. So really looking at how small homes can be built that can be added onto without climbing into bed with the bank, and of course having their own water system and be ready for what is coming. And Paul will tell you a little bit more of the research that he's been doing, but we are going to experience some serious weather changes, and our homes have to be resilient, robust, and be able to grow their own food and keep us safe and protected from folk that might want to just, here we go, I'll just take yours, because there will be a lot of that coming. Unfortunately, the world is not living sustainably, and it's led by a handful of folk that don't want sustainability to thrive. But because of that, we are all faced in the situation where we're heading for really like a disaster.
Yeah. We see it as a really great opportunity now, because people are starting to awaken and see that actually they are the ones that need to make a change. We can't keep blaming all of our problems on somebody else. There is that, and we can't deny that, but also it's about empowering ourselves, and that's what we want to do, is empower you to take back control of your life, to take responsibility for the growing of your food, for the catchment of your water, for the protection and creating a home debt-free, as Alosha was saying. Because it's all of these things that will break you free of that system and reliance upon a fragile system that's not necessarily working for us anymore, or the planet. So, and it's not all doom and gloom, because these times are really exciting times, and opportunity is a big part of this time if people can get ahead of the game. So if you are smart enough, you realize that now is the time, before things get crazy, to get ahead of the game, to learn these techniques, to learn these tools, to learn as much information as you can, and connect with other people like us, like who we are connecting with, and start to bring our knowledge together, and we'll find ways, we'll find solutions. But we need to start somewhere, and that's why we're coming to the US, because we've been doing this research, and Alosha has a lot of information on self-reliance. I have a lot of information on creating these training centers, and we both have a lot of passion and reliance and understanding of how to make these communities possible.
And I think important to mention here is that it's not just information. We've freaking built it. We've done it. I have spent over $25,000 on mistakes which I have corrected, but really, it's all in our BioVeda training, which we'll be obviously presenting to you guys at our talks as well. Paul just came back from Turkey, and he's built a mother project there for a whole family of 5. So when we're coming from experience, not information, and this is another problem with the world. And I'm sorry to point out problems, but the world is full of this mental masturbation. Everybody is having concepts and ideas of how and what. So we've actually gone and traveled to these communities. We spoke, we had a list of questions, and the research was the same. As people just why that poverty is happening. So we're going to bring all of that to the table. And one more thing I want to mention about the homes is the governments and telecommunication companies are ramping up on 5G, 3G, Wi-Fi, all bunch of waves. And one of the key elements that we want to bring is homes that protect you from electromagnetic radiation, because it's becoming, I'm sensitive myself, quite sensitive to 3G signal. I mean, the 5G we haven't experienced yet, but really homes that can block out and create a shield, or at least one room in the home that can just
be like sleep in, and it's protected. Yeah,
like a mother's womb, that if you are electromagnetic sensitive, then you can be protected. But even if you're not electromagnetic sensitive, it doesn't mean it's not hammering you. One more thing I wanted to mention: the changes on the planet already have started happening. In South Africa, we have had a price increase on water tenfold in 25 days, with no reason, I mean,
there's a drought.
It's a drought, but engineered drought possibly. Who knows? Because the price just went up, and people complain, but it's tenfold.
Yep.
What is stopping the government to ramp it up another tenfold next year, and another tenfold next year, and another tenfold next year? Sorry, there is no water. Weather change, blah blah. Imagine paying 1,000-fold for your water in 5 years. Just imagine, what would that do to your budget? What would that do to the little budget that you have that you want to create the self-sustainable future? Sorry, that's where your budget will go. It's going to go to a 50 times increase in water price. It's going to go into 50 times increase in food price and a 50 times increase in petrol price. If they want to, they'll do it, and that's where they're aiming. They want to bleed us dry. So we do not have funds to leave their manufactured city model, so we can just be slaves and keep on bleeding our taxes and sucking us dry like in Matrix. It's happening, guys. Really, wake up, okay?
But as you can see, we're very passionate about this.
But we are bringing a positive
yes,
message.
exactly. No, we could talk a long time about the negatives, but and it's important, and Locious has a really important points, that the water and the scarcity that's going to come, you can put yourself in a position now where you are not going to be affected by that, and that's going to save your life potentially at the end of the day. Not to bring fear to this, but we should look at reality here.
We want to thrive. We really want to create thriving communities that have abundance of water. I mean, if you look at some of the Jeff Lawton's dams that they're doing, the multiple cascading dams, we're talking about 100 to 200 million liters of water on a small plot or within a community. We're not talking about water shortages. And it was a simple biochar filter that we teach in our training. You can get that water to a drinking level. Had it tested, it's perfect, and that biochar filter won't cost you more than $200. So we're talking about DIY, hands-on solutions, not getting a contractor to do this, empowering the people to build their own ecosystems so they can mimic nature's genius.
Yeah. So there's so much more to fit in, but I think we want to save it for the talk. There's a lot of details and a lot of stuff. This is just a general overview of the theme of what we want to come and bring to the US. US is a big place in my heart, and lived in the US for 10 years until I moved and traveled building projects since 2011 all over the world. But I really want to get back there with this knowledge, because I know that you guys in the US have a passion for doing the right thing and for your own sovereignty. And freedom is a hugely important thing that Europe and other countries have not got that sense of freedom that American people do. And you are a light, actually, still, even though there's a lot of mud on that light right now. There's still a light in the world, and a lot of countries are looking to you guys to lead the way. And we want to come and inspire that. We want to come and show you that actually, if you do this, it can create a revolution
around the planet.
Yeah,
create
really.
a ripple around the planet. This is what we want to do, and the US is a key part. US and Russia, we actually want to. We actually want to make them friends, because I'm Russian, and just bring that all together. Start co-creation of new thriving communities of the future.
Yeah, maybe if you have a project that you're interested, also you can contact us while we're in the States. We can come check it out, give you some advice, and see how we can already start pushing you guys to make some moves.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks. See you soon.
Be well. So I invite you to join one of our talks. Please check the form below, because we're really reliant on our community. We're reliant on you guys, because this is on such a short notice, and we're coming to share about how to construct communities, how to build them, the challenges, how to go around governmental blocks, how to move the land into the legal status, so we can build educational centers, homes, farming, and of course the permaculture. So all of this is going to be, well, as much as we can, we're going to cover in our complimentary donation-based talks, but we're reliant entirely on you guys. So check out below, please tick what you can help us with. Maybe you can host myself and Paul in your home, or maybe you can give us a lift from a space to another space, or maybe you know of a venue, or like such a school hall with a video projector, or a nice restaurant with a big quiet room. I don't know. There's many ways that you can help. They're all listed below, and you can, if it's not there, you can type it in what you can help us with. But we really, really, really need your help to get this tour on the way. We're coming purely to share how to build these communities in these turbulent times where the governmental structures are collapsing, the ecosystems are collapsing, and everything is just going downhill, and we're coming with what we believe is the right solution for this. We are touring from Ashland, San Francisco, Los Angeles, all the way to Taos in Arizona. So we're doing all the major spots on the East Coast, and we need you to spread this message far and wide. But right now we just really, really need to pack these talks so we can share to as many people as possible, because there's some opportunity there for folk to even move to Russia. We're building a community here, and there'll be opportunity for those. You'll have to learn the language, but hell, it's far better than trying to fight with American government, So there's many opportunities to open up, or of course for you to build your own communities and intentional villages in your own spaces. It's going to be also a bit of a brainstorming sessions of how we can do it, what challenges you guys have in the States, and how we can overcome them together. So I look forward to be seeing you there. Please scroll below, tick which town you can be at or which city you can attend our talk at, and we'll be, of course, once you tick that, we'll be sending you information for, let's say, San Francisco. You'll get info with exact venue, date and time. And behind me is the highest spot in Europe, Elbrus, 5,642 meters. Whoa.